everyone, it's Jean from Inky Owl. Welcome back. This is going to be the last part on putting together the stacked envelopes file folder journal. So today we are going to work on the coin pocket that fits on the inside here. If that's what you'd like to do. Now you can make just a regular pocket. You can just take scrapbook paper and make simple pockets like we did over here if you'd like, but it's kind of fun, I think, to kind of put a coin envelope in there. So what I am using is I am using a free digital from Nik the Booksmith, and I'll put a link down to her Flickr page and you'll have to scroll through to find it, but it's the tall coin envelope template. When I cut it out, however, I make one change, and like she has the pattern cuts off right here. I add as much as I can so that it fits on my scrapbook paper. I add on, and this is probably a good 1/2 inch, I would say, because it just needs a little bit more, I think, to support the little buttons that we're going to be putting on them. So that's the one change I make. The second thing, of course, I print out this template and I have it to trace around, but you can theoretically print on the back of your scrapbook paper and then cut out, the back of it as well. But if you do that, put it through your printer on draft, or the least amount of ink that can be used to print it out, because this lettering can bleed through, especially if you have something light colored. So I just recommend that you do that, but you could print this out in the back of your paper and then cut it out. That you could do that too. So once you've got this cut out and folded, before you start with the buttons, you need to make a liner for it, to not only hide the brad, but to give this a little bit more support. So this is a good time now to trace around and cut out a little piece that's going to fit right up there for you, like that, and fit with inside these two flaps, so you don't have to do a double fold there. So that would be the next step you need to do. Now we are going to make the little buttons, and I'll show you quickly how I do it. And we all have our ways, I guess. I have a 3/4 inch round punch. I punch the little brad hole first, then I line it up, and all the rest of them, and I like to double up the cardstock. All the rest of them I just punch regular holes, and then the scrapbook paper that goes on top of it. And then we just quickly glue all these together, like so. There we go there, and this one here on top. And oops. And then when we get them all together, then all we have to do is go back in and find that hole. So make sure he's always on the bottom. And then they all line up together, and you don't have to punch this, more times than one for each little button. So that's the way I do it. And we all have our ways, so you might have an easier way to do it. Now, we need to now what I like about her pattern is that there's a generous amount of overlap, so that the brad automatically gets covered up, which I think is pretty cool. So you'll want to measure, you want to lay down your buttons, approximately where you are going to put them, and eye it up. I don't think it's really a big deal. This probably should be in the middle just because it looks better. So you'll go through your hole and put a little dot there, and put a little dot on the bottom one. All right, so those are your 2 punch holes. And actually, I'm going to get my smaller hole punch. Just a minute. Sorry, because I'm using the tiny brads, and they don't need a very large hole. So what's really nice about this is that you don't need a long reach. You can reach everything with your tiny little punch there. All right, now let's take our little brad and we're going to pop them in here. Now I got glue on my fingers. Sorry about that. They do look a little messy, don't they? I've been really busy today crafting. So we're going to spread out the little wings like that. There you go. Now this is something else I like to do, and that is the string you're going to use to tie up your buttons with. I like to put it through here. I like to put it through that hole. Of course, you know, that's probably why I shouldn't have gotten such a tiny hole. Yeah, it'll go through. All right. I like to get it through first. And then I'm going to get a piece of masking tape and tape that down. Tape it down here so it stays down. Okay. And then I will put in my little button through that hole, and it'll go in. And spread his little arms. There we go. So now I've got the string on there and I don't have to tie it and put like a knot in it. It's just, I think, a cleaner way to get that in there. Dun, dun, dun. And then I'm going to put tape over this just to make sure, and it doesn't really matter what kind of tape, it's just what I happen to have. I'm going to put tape over the brad so it's nice and secure. And I'm going to put tape over this one as well, like so. Make sure they match up pretty well. I think they do. And then get your liner. Put your liner in. See, I had printed this out before and didn't like it. Didn't like the words bleeding through, so I had to reprint it again. Okay, we'll just put this in here like so. Okay. And there we go. You may have to fold it again to recrease it. All right, so there's that done, and we're going to put this down over that one. So we'll just put the glue here, and it'll be all finished except for the bottom. But like I say, I like that these flaps are large because it will cover up the back of this brad, so your tags won't have a problem fitting in. And there it be. I see I need to do a little trimming over here on the edge. There we go. And now we can just put this around here. This around here. And we'll go one more time. All right, there's our little coin envelope. It looks so cute. And that is ready to go. into the middle here. And now you can also make this into a pocket by just gluing in on the sides, and then you'll have a pocket back here. So that can be done as well. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And we'll just can put a long tag in the back of it. Now, of course, just another tip, if you don't have a tag this long, however long your tag is, up to there is where your glue. So if you have a shorter tag that might only go down this far, then you're just going to glue here so it doesn't get lost. Alrighty. Put it down here. And now we have the little coin pocket inside here. All right, our little pocket's all done. Let us go in here. Now you'll need to cut a skinny strip to go down here if you would like. You know, really, you probably could go without it, but this has to be, of course, again, you want to test out how skinny it is so that it doesn't impede the folding of the two sides. My hands are still sticky. Okay, this, I think it ended up being just shy of a 1/2 inch. And, but you'll have to test yours out and see, you know, what you need. And we're just going to glue that in there. Like so. And really, I'm a little tempted not to put anything there, but I will just go ahead for those who like it to look a little bit more finished. There we are. So that's what we put down there. Now we need to get our pockets glued on. And pretty straightforward. You're just going to be gluing the sides up here. On the sides. And of course with Fabri-Tac you got to be careful of it leaking out because it's shiny. So when I put glue down, I kind of put it just not quite to the edge because it'll squeeze out a little bit. So you'll have that there to put down, and then you'll want to put this one down first. Now I don't know if forgot if I showed you that, but this was actually a square, and I just angled off the sides of it just to cut down on the bulk a little bit. You don't have to do that. That's just what I did. And you'll want to figure out just about where you're going to put that. And I usually put a little tick mark just on the inside, so I kind of have an idea where I want to end up with. It did make it pretty fast, so that is set. So now I wanted to, oh, and I cut out the papers, and it depends on whether you're putting in, if you're going to put in brads or eyelets and put in elastic, you'll want to measure your booklet so it will fit inside those two brads. And I'll put the brads in later and show you what I mean. But mine ended up being 7.5 by 9 3/4 wide. So it fits in, it'll fit in like this here. So it, you know, don't want it to come all the way to the edge, but sort of to the edge. There you go. And I wanted to show you what you could do instead of doing the elastic and the eyelets. You can just take a ribbon. This is a thin ribbon. I'm pretty sure you can find this at the Dollar Tree or somewhere. Even at Michael's they sell these little inexpensive ribbon rolls, or at my Walmart or whatever. And I think this is about 3/8 of an inch wide. It's a pretty good width on that. And you just simply put this over the spine. Now what I would do is I would attach this to the spine. You can put decorative paper over the ribbon to kind of, secure it in there. And that way it won't shift on you. And just all you have to do is you're just going to tie. I mean, just how simple is this? Really very easy to do this. And it'll stay in there fine. If you have like a long reach stapler, you could staple these papers together on the spine. It might help a little bit with it, or you can sew them by hand or with a sewing machine. You can, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. But you can just do this, and then you got your journals done. You can use, if you got like a grungy one, you can use string for that. So that's an easy peasy way to secure the papers inside of here. And I like to do the cover. I like to do a cover on mine. I like to print it on cardstock and just use that as the cover each time I change out the papers that are inside. Okay? And you can just make this all tea stain paper, whatever you like. So let's do the brads, or eyelets, sorry. Just do the eyelets so that we can put our elastic on the inside. And this is pretty easy, pretty, if you've worked with brads before, or eyelets. I gotta stop calling them brads, my goodness. So we'll put our hole down here, and our hole through here. There we go. And oh, I just thought, you know what, I have to cover the spine. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I'm going to pause here and cover the spine. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I have put the backing on here. I went ahead and put the eyelets in because I have to do it with a hammer. Even though what I bought, and I've explained this before, it's for the crocodile, but my crocodile will not do it. It doesn't really do them well, so I have to do it with an old-fashioned eyelet setter and a hammer. So I didn't want to make all that noise for you, so I went ahead and put those in there, and we'll just string the elastic through. Pretty straightforward, not anything complicated for sure. But like if you're doing the ribbon, then you would have put this decorative paper over that ribbon, and then it would have been really stable for you. And just tie this up here into a knot. And I like to leave a little bit of it, a bit of a tail, so that if you need to tighten it up, you can, grab it a little bit easier than if it's cut too close. There we are, and we will just put our papers in, and we are finished with our journal. And all you have to do is get your ephemera. Put your ephemera in there the way you like it, and cut off your ties once you get them all tied together, and you think some of this is too long, and yes, some of this is too long, but there it is. It's so cute, and it just looks very complicated, it is ready to go for you. Alrighty, so thank you so much for following along, and as I say, the ones coming up are going to just be decorating it, and you can tune in and see how that goes, give you some ideas maybe. I am, for the decorating part of it, I am using my porch prints. My grandma's attic is where these decorative papers come from. So I'll probably be continuing with those. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe to see how this goes, and eventually both of these journals will end up in my Etsy shop. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.